You use the quick place command to place parts on the board and into their assigned rooms. Be sure you're working on the board partsplace.board. As we see we are, it is the board we saved in the last lab. Zoom into the channel 1, channel 2 rooms. If grids are displayed, you want to turn them off, and we do that by this little icon here. They're on and they're off. Choose Place and Quick Place. And we see several options here, and we want to place by room. And the room we want to place is channel 2. Click Place. And this places all the parts that are in channel 2 room. And click OK. And then it's up to you to go in and move the components around for a better placement. In this case, if we did a place, clicking on Move, and we'll click it. And let's rotate it. Right-click, rotate, and that gets rid of all our bow ties. And we could probably bring this down a little bit, and maybe this down a little bit. And let's move this L2 out of the way. This is kind of analog stuff over here. We probably want to put those all kind of together. Just like that. Now this is a bypass cap, and that would be used for this U21. And if we wanted to, we could mirror it, mirror it, and let's rotate it and place it right there. Now remember, you want the VCC net match to your VCC pin, and this would be near your ground pin. And right now I'm just moving things around to make it a little more comfortable. You want a little room in here for your vias if you have it. And I see there's a little chip here. Looks like it wants to have all these resistors near it. And just keep moving things around. I'm seeing a lot of your connections are going to the left. If I rotate it, let's see what happens. That's a little better, I think. So we'll put that right there. This can come down a little bit. A placement like this might be okay. Remember, you can mirror components if it's advantageous to you. We did one here. These might be okay if you wanted to mirror them. In this case, I think this is the way we're going to go. The next thing we'll do is replicate the channel 2 circuit and apply it to the channel 1 room. So the first thing we're going to do is place by room, and we're going to place channel 1. So we click Place and Quick Place. Then we place by room here, and we find channel 1. We say Place, and then we say OK. In the Find folder, we're going to click Everything Off and click Symbols On. I'm going to zoom into this area right here, and what we want to do is select all these parts except for J3 and of course the board. And we can do that by finding a blank spot. We just click it, and that makes a box like this, and that will get most of them. And then I'm going to hit Control, and Control will get that one. So it looks like all of our parts are highlighted, and we go right click, Application Mode, placement edit. Then we click on or hover over one of our components, right click it, and then we go to place, replicate, create. Then right click and done. Now we're going to hover our mouse over the right pin of J3 and we right click it and say snap pick to pin. And then it will ask you for a file name, and we're going to call this Chan. So we have that typed in and we save it. So now we select all the parts in channel 1, just like we did before. And we get most of them with this sweep. And then I'm just going to do a control and click on this L1. And that looks like we have them all highlighted. And of course the J2 is not highlighted. Another thing you might want to do is go to Setup, Application Mode, and Placement Edit if you have not already done that. So all your components are highlighted except for J2, which is fixed. And then we right click, we go to Place, Replicate, Apply, and we go to Channel or Chan. Now you're going to notice that there are two unmatched components. If we click on L5, it tells you that L5 is probably matched to L3, which is correct. And if we click on R14, there is nothing, so we just leave that alone, and then we say OK. And we know that we had indicated this to be our 0, point, and we just click that, and we have an exact duplicate of our circuitry from channel 2. So now that we've finished channel 1 and channel 2, let's hit F2, and now we can see the whole board, and we can quick place the rest of the rooms. So we go place, quick place, place by room, and we want all rooms, which is correct, and let's say place, and we see that our components go into the right rooms, and we say OK. So now that we have all the rooms placed, let's go in and fix our memory section. And what I'd like to do is move these caps out. Just highlight them, move them, make a pick, and let's just put them right there. Now these memory chips should all be rotated horizontally. So I'm going to say rotate, and then we can start putting them in. Rotate, like that, and we're going to be pushing and shoving as we go, and you're just going to push and shove and rotate. So now we've pushed and shoved and everything is kind of in order. One thing I'm noticing, I am using a 1/10 grid, or 100 mil grid I should say, for moving, which makes things a lot easier to move. But if you notice, I'm a little high here, and a little high here and a little low here. What I'd like to do is bring everything down 50 mils. And you can do that with an incremental move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything. So we click a open space and make a box, and all 8 components are highlighted. And then in the command line, we want to go into the move, pick a point, and in the command line we go IY minus 50 and an enter. So now you can see that our components are exactly where we want them, and we did it without having to change our grids. And now we can move our bypass caps, can rotate them, and put them right there. So our bypass caps are added. Always try to get your VCC pin next to the VCC. In this case, these components have a couple of different VCCs and a couple of different grounds. So that being said, our engineer says this is a fine placement, so we're going to go with it. And now we have our LED, and let's move these around. This can come in a little bit like that, and we're just move these guys to the respective place, just like that. It looks like I have plenty of room. So we'll do that. We'll stagger them a little bit. Straight lines. It's usually never a perfect world, but you'll get the idea. So everything there looks good. Plenty of room. You usually don't have this much luxury, but that's about what we need. Actually, these could be rotated. This will be a little closer. Do that by just rotate. Done. So now we're going to place the rest of the board. I'm going to hit F2, and that shows the entire board. Another thing we want to do is place all the components that are not placed on the board. Going to place, quick place, and in this case we're going to place by reference designator, and it's going to be IC is what we want to include, and we want to put I would say let's try the left because I see a lot of space here, and click place and say OK. And it looks like it placed it more at bottom than left, but let's see where it should go. Looks like it wants to go here. Zoom in a little bit. And it is a through-hole device. Be better rotated. Well, that'll work. Let's see, maybe we push this down a little. And then we could put this right there. And now let's place the discrete components. Again, we go place, quick place, and we place by reference designator, and we want to change this to discrete, and let's try top this time. Oh, I see we had bottom, that's why bottom left. Let's just go left. Let's try that, see how that all works. Place. Oh, that worked. So that went right there. Very good. Say OK. So let's mirror these bypass caps over here. And if we highlight them and then we say mirror, and let's just start putting them on the board. And I'm going to say our grid now is a little coarse. I'd like to change that to 50. So if we go into setup and we go into grids, I'm going to change this to 50. And that being done, we say OK. And now when we start moving our caps, it's in a much finer grid. And I think we just do that. And if we zoom out a little bit, you can see that everything is in good order. And we have one more cap here that we can just simply put right down in this area. So we mirrored our caps just because we can. This is a very loose board just for educational purposes. Your boards are probably not going to be this loose. So we're putting these resistors down here. Seems like that's a good oops button. And then we'll look them over a little closer and see which ones should be moved a little bit. You can see this one has a very good connection to here, so we might want to put it here, but we certainly have to mirror it. So let's say mirror. That puts it on the back of the board, just like that. Good place for it. And this might be a good component to mirror. We can put that, see how it goes right by the resistor. We say mirror it, and let's rotate it, just like that. So now one via, and that will make the two connections. Same thing with this one. Mirror it, rotate it. And then we can just put them in their respective spots. So now we have a board that's all placed, at least we think it is. Let's file save it as placed, and we'll save it.